Boomer's Boomer Life Lessons and Stories, and I'm glad to see you. Glad you're with me today. We're going to be talking about something that probably is of interest to many of you, and it's about the joy of teamworking. I'm reminded of a show I used to watch in the 70s and 80s. I guess it was maybe the 80s. It's called The Joy of Painting. And the painter would make happy little mistakes. Have we made happy little mistakes in our team working? You betcha. But mostly we've done well. I'm not so sure about the little happy mistakes, but we endeavor to persevere to do the right thing. But before we go there, if you could like, share, and subscribe. By subscribing and sharing and liking, you help me with the YouTube algorithm, and that enables me to bring more of these videos to you if they add something of value to you. Doing so, liking, sharing, and subscribing will help me tremendously. I do enjoy sharing with you, and hopefully in the net of all things, right, you get a good benefit from this, and it's very useful to you in your career and perhaps maybe even in your personal life. Okay, so what about team working? Well, I would like to preface the discussion on the joy of team working with a discussion on something called bounded rationality. Bounded rationality says that I only know what I know. And I'm okay knowing what I know. I get through life okay. But in a team, me and you as a team know a lot more. And what that means is that if we're working on a team together to solve a problem, then we bring more knowledge and experience together to work on that problem. And perhaps the solutions we come up with are better than the solutions that we could come up with as individuals. And why is that? Because we have an expanded rationality. Together, we're a lot smarter than we are as individuals, okay? So when you have a team, an optimal team size, many types of research have been done on this, and even companies out in the industry have worked to say, what is the optimal size of a team? Typically, 5, 6, 7, 7 typically is the top number of people to have on a team. It's kind of like this. If you have 7 carpenters building a house, they get in the way of each other, and it takes you longer than 3 months to build the house. If you only have 2 carpenters building the house, it's going to take you longer to build the house. But if you have 4 carpenters building the house, you're going to be able to get it done 3 months. Why? Because it's most efficient, and they're collaborative, and the work they do is value added. There's not negative value there. So there is an optimal size to teams, and you can read different studies on that and come up with your own thoughts and way of doing things in teams. But when I talk about the joy of team working, and I do talk about this quite a bit with my friends and also with some of my students, there are certain skills that we should have in team working. But preface all of this discussion on what I've said before in previous episodes. You must always treat each other with dignity and respect. And that includes the people that maybe don't like you or you don't like them. We're all in it together to make things happen for the good of the family or the good of the business. So we have to treat each other with dignity and respect, and that makes things go a lot smoother. If you do anything otherwise than treating one another with dignity and respect, you're adding negative value, and you're not going to be able to achieve all that you could achieve as a team. So what are some of the skill sets in team working? Well, certainly it's communication. And oh, by the way, communication has 2 modes. It has a talk mode and a listen mode. And generally speaking, in a team working environment, you want to listen more than you talk. You want to contribute by communicating verbally, right? But you also want to listen more because there's more people in the team or on the team than just you. So talking and listening, having those good skills that allow you to precisely and concisely convey your thoughts, your concerns, etc., to the team is very, very important. And then also to listen and understand what they're saying back to you. Now, there's this other thing. And it's really tying in with synergism, right? Uh, the sum of the parts is not greater than the whole. The whole is greater than the sum of the parts. Individually, we can have certain values and skills and things that we bring to the team. And when you add them all up, they're going to be less than what the team can add together. So that means that we have to learn to collaborate with one another. And collaboration means that you're open to ideas and thoughts of other people, other ways of doing things on the job or in the team, whether it's contributing your time to a charity organization or even building a team environment for some family activities and tasks. So when you collaborate, you're feeding off of each other, the ideas and thoughts of one another. And when that happens, you come up with the best of the best in terms of forward approaches, what should be done. So collaboration is very important. The other aspect to team working skills is being able to negotiate. Now, unfortunately, in today's environment, you see people out there saying, no, it's my way or the highway. I won't consider anything else but my way. And the other side saying, it's my way or the highway. It's nothing else. I won't consider anything else. And then nothing gets done. Well, realistically, that's negative value. There's no good that can come of that. So what you try to do is to learn your negotiation skills. You say, okay, I hear where you want to head with this, and some of the things I like and agree with you, but have you thought about doing it this way? You see, you approach the negotiations in a very positive manner. You show some things that are good about the other's position, and then you talk to them a little bit about perhaps maybe there's some weaknesses in some of the other things that they want to do, but here's your thoughts on those other things. So you talk back and forth with the team members, and you collaborate, you negotiate, and outcoming from that negotiation is an optimal solution. The keyword here is optimal. What does that mean? An optimal solution is not necessarily the best solution, but it's not necessarily the worst solution either. The optimal solution fits within the constraints of any cost schedule or technical requirements that you have that you must meet. In other words, yeah, if I had 2 years on this project, I would come up with the perfect solution, but the customer needs it in 6 months. So you have a constraint of time, or you have a constraint of money. There's lots of things that you could do with the team in achieving something that helps your customer, but you may not have the time nor the funds to do it, right? So what you come up with as a team that is collaborating and negotiating with one another is an optimal solution that fits within the constraints. Don't get hung up on the best or the perfect. And by the way, there's no such thing as a perfect solution. And the reason why I say that is perfection is in the eye of the beholder, just like beauty is, right? So different customers and different team members may have different ideas of what perfection is. So what you want to seek as the end result is the optimal approach, the optimal solution. And that's done through negotiation, using that expanded rationality that the team has, because the team knows more than you do. The team has more experience than you do. So leverage it. So very, very important. Now, obviously, you can do all the above, communicate, collaborate, negotiate, but you must also have some problem-solving skills. And one of the key aspects of problem-solving skills is recognizing the difference between a symptom and a root cause. And I mentioned this earlier in a previous episode, but what we strive to do in problem solving is to bore down and peel off these layers of symptoms until we get to the root cause. And then we work to achieve a solution to the root cause by putting a plan in place that will allow us to do that. So problem solving is real key. The Kepner-Trago process that came up in the late 70s, early 80s is a really good process to learn. And it leverages the team environment to do problem solving. The last couple of items that I would like to mention, and by the way, I could talk about this all day and all night. Again, my wife says I like to lecture, but I'm trying to keep these to 10, 15 minutes. The last couple of skill sets that you need to develop is planning skills. Every member of the team will have their role and responsibility and their tasking. So you have to be able to create an individual plan that fits in with the team plan, and the team plan fits in with the project plan, right? The program plan. And if you are not very good at creating plans, find somebody in the team, because what we tend to do in a team environment, and this is also a key point, we put strength on weakness. Strength on weakness. So every member may have their own strengths that they bring to bear for the team, but they also bring their weaknesses. But somebody on the team has a strength to cover that other member's weakness. So we like to put strength on weakness. If planning's not your strong suit, find somebody in the team that loves to plan and can do so very, very well, right? The last thing is leadership. And you say, well, the team has one leader, it's a team leader. Well, that's correct and it's not correct, okay? Because remember, we're always collaborating and negotiating. We have a team lead skill that is self-management of ourselves and our tasking. We're leading ourselves to make sure that we follow what is sufficient and necessary to help the team be successful and accomplish its goals and its deliverables. So we need to understand how to lead ourselves through tasks. And we also need to learn how to lead others that we may be mentoring in the team environment, even though we may not be the formal team leader. And of course, the team lead, okay, I'm going to say something that might be a little striking, but the team leader may be an outstanding leader, but they may not be the sharpest knife in the drawer technically. Now, did I say that with my outside voice? It's true. Team leadership is a different type of skill. And you may have somebody that's outstanding in identifying people that have certain types of skills and they're right for the team. And they can always put together an exceptional team, but they're not necessarily very good at the details, whereas their members are. There was a football coach, Lou Holtz, that coached the University of Arkansas's football team. And it was really amazing. He was always able to put together an outstanding team in Arkansas at that time. And those were good memories because it's not happening today. Maybe it will. Arkansas always had a great college football team. And it's because he knew how to put together a team where the individuals learned how to work together as a team, work to their strengths, not to their weaknesses. And they were always nationally ranked very, very high up in the national rankings, like second, third, and fourth ranked in the nation. But individually, the team members of that team might not have been the top recruiting talent that people went after. But invariably, year in and year out, Lou Holtz was able to build superb teams. He did that everywhere he went, by the way. My hat's off to him. He was really the epitome of what it meant to be a good coach or team leader, right? And literally, a team leader has to be a good coach on the job as well. So I guess what I would like to say in this is know what the team skill sets are. Learn to be good at these team skill sets. Know how to identify strengths in others and talk about your weaknesses. And don't be afraid to say, well, you know, I can't really do that. It's not been my strong suit, but I do have skills in these other areas that may be able to help the team, right? And you will do well throughout your career. Collaborate, negotiate, communicate well, both talk and listen, right? Because listening is very, very important. Be able to learn how to approach problems and solve them. You know, one last thing about problems. I had a mentor tell me one time on the job, he said, identifying the problem is 80% of solving the problem. Because once you understand the problem, the root cause, you can always put the plan together to fix it. And that is so, so very true. Okay, guys and gals, I hope you get a chance to work on a team, because I guarantee you will get close to that team. Always try to work and treat everybody with dignity and respect. And when you leave that team, it's gonna pull at your heart, because you know that team is able to conquer mountains, and they will. Okay? So with that, you take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next episode. All the best.